All right. Well, thank you for joining us today for our RN BSN program here at Nebraska Methodist College. We are going to get started. All right. So our presentation is being recorded today. We do post this up to our YouTube um, page. So if you want to go back and take a look at it, you can do that probably next week. All of the participants are in listen mode through this event today. We do ask for your questions. We want to make sure we can answer all of your questions towards the end of the event. So thank you for joining us today. All right. Dr. Newell, would you like to introduce yourself?
I had to get off mute there for a second. Yes, I'm Dr. Marla Newell, and I'm the RN to BSN program director. So welcome.
Thank you. All right. And Jane Herman is our admissions coordinator. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi, I'm Jane Herman, and I have probably been working with you already, so now you have a face with the name, but I will be here to help you throughout the admissions process. So if any questions come up after the event today or anytime during the application process, feel free to reach out to me.
All right. We are going to get started.
Okay, just a little bit about the college. We are a not-for-profit college. We are 100% focused on healthcare. So besides our nursing program, although that is our biggest program, we do have many other areas in the healthcare field that you can get involved in. So sonography, rad tech, PTA, and we have a graduate OT program, surge tech, lots of different things. So if you have other people in your lives that are interested in healthcare, please share that with them as well. We have been around since 1891, so we'd like to think that we are pretty good at what we do. We've been here for a long time and have perfected a lot of things. We do currently have over 1,000 students, so that is kind of a combination of our in-person and online students. And as I said, we have many different programs, so you can get anything from your CNA here all the way through your doctoral degree. One nice thing about the college is that we do have the affiliation with the health system. So when it comes to jobs, connections, clinical hours, things like that, we have a really wide range of places for you to be when you consider our healthcare system that we're affiliated with. Going backwards.
So I'm just going to talk a little bit about our RN to BSN program. So we're fully accredited by CCNE, which is our accreditation body through the American Association of Colleges of Nurses. Our coursework is 100% online. You can come and take classes part-time or full-time. And I can tell you the majority of students end up doing part-time because we know you're busy with working full-time and with other parts of your life. The program can complete it in 12 months with that full-time offer, and if you have appropriate transfer credit. And we are very transfer credit friendly, and so Jane can help you with that. Designated academic advisors. You might have talked to Jane McClure. We have dedicated financial aid counselor, and we have an online orientation plus a virtual orientation open house. So you can really be familiar with our program, our learning management system, and can put some faces to some names on resources here at the college. Students can start in January or in August, so for the fall or spring semesters. As an online program, all of our courses are asynchronous, which means you don't have to go to class at a certain time or be online at a certain time. You complete the work in the time frame that you can do it, given that there are due dates for assignments. We have courses that are, the majority are 5 weeks, some are 10 weeks. And then in between that 5-week sessions, you have 1 week off every 5 weeks. So you have a class for 5 weeks, off a week, class for 5 weeks, off a week, and then class for 5 weeks. And it really kind of gives you a breather space in between those classes. There are some clinical components to the program, but they're nothing like what you had in your previous program. So we do have a virtual clinical, which is our shadow health management system, in which it's for the health assessment course. So just making sure that you're up to the level that you need to be for a BSN prepared nurse as far as your health assessments. And then there's a clinical practicum in the population focused course, in which you do a project within the community. So you do it on your own time and you pick your community site. So students that complete the program in a 12-month plan of study should have all of the following courses completed prior to the RN to BSN courses. So in our new curriculum that just starts this coming spring, we've revised what your pre-courses should be looking like. So beginning healthcare Spanish or American Sign Language, those are courses that are offered here at the college, but any college level language course will work that you can transfer in. Principles and Practices of Ethics is a course that's offered here at Nebraska Methodist College, but we're looking for any type of ethics course that could transfer in. And then an Introduction to Statistics, that's also offered here. But you could, if you took that before, you could transfer that in. So this is our curriculum. It's 36 hours, credit hours. And so currently the orientation course, which is Nursing 404, it's a course that you take over 5 weeks. I typically open it up 2 weeks before you even start so you can get most of it done. There's a variety of courses, as you can see. You're looking at professionalism for RNs, mainly focusing on that professional nurse of a BSN. There's humanities and holism, health assessment. If you haven't had 3 credit hours of that before, we're looking at leadership. We're looking at healthcare in a global society. Looking at nursing research and evidence-based practice, and informatics, and looking at healthcare policy. And of course, there's a population-centered health in the community course, which has that clinical component. And then we're also looking at systems-based practice, which is more of a big picture look at healthcare. And so that is a new course that's part of our program. And then at the end, you do capstone, the educated citizen.
We'll kind of walk you through a little bit about what the application process looks like. So it's fairly quick, honestly, and very simple. Basically, you'll go to our website. There's a big button on the right-hand side that says Apply Now. So just go to that tab, fill out the online application, and then we need official transcripts to come directly from every college that you have college credit from. So even if you took a class maybe during high school and got college credit for it, we also need those, and they need to be official. So that means they need to come directly from the school to us. So you'll have those sent to us, and then usually I will just go online and pull a copy of your license for you. So I don't really even need you to do that step. And then we do ask for a resume. That's not something you're judged on by any means. It's just kind of a nice informational piece for us to see where you're coming from, where you work, things like that. So we can offer any additional information that might be helpful to you along the way. And we've included on here the address. So if wherever you're requesting transcripts from needs a physical address, you see that on your screen now. Otherwise, they can just be emailed to that admissions@methodistcollege.edu website. And then from there, really what I do is kind of, as soon as you start an application, I just kind of keep an eye on your file on a daily basis and send you updates along the way. Maybe if I'm waiting on a transcript or what I'm still needing from you. And then we accept on a rolling basis. So it's a really quick process. So it's the faster you can get stuff to me, the faster you know. So what makes you qualified to apply to the program? You need to have an unencumbered license as an RN. A lot of times students are worried because they graduate in May and they want to apply for the fall for an August start. That's perfectly fine. You can apply ahead of time, you can get accepted, all the things, and then we just do what's called a provisional acceptance, where I just kind of add a note to your file saying that I have to have that RN license. So what I have students do is just keep me posted on your NCLEX date. I even help watch for your license. Sometimes I get to see it before you do, and I get to share the good news before you've even had a chance to look. So we just need the license before you start school in August. If you're doing a fall start, or same for spring, actually, it'd be we'd need it before the January start. So don't worry if you're not done and you want to go ahead and get applying now. You can definitely do that. You do need to have a 2.5 or higher on the 4.0 scale. There's part of the application that just asks for your ability to meet technical standards. That's just making sure you understand what the program consists of and that you can lift and stand and do all of those things. It's just kind of a check off as part of the application. It's not an additional piece. And then for our online programs, we do have to meet state authorization guidelines. And what that is when we provide education in different states, we just have to make sure that we are allowed to do that and we can meet all of the requirements that each state has. So if you're not from Omaha or the surrounding area, once I see your address, we will have a conversation just to make sure that we are a good fit and we can give you the services that you need. So here is a little look at the timeline. So if you are interested in getting started this January, classes do start January 13th. I would definitely recommend having everything submitted and to me by the 1st of November. It gets really fast after that with Thanksgiving and holiday breaks and all of that. And you'll also need to request those transcripts. You need to be mindful of other schools maybe having vacation, or if the registrar is out for Thanksgiving and you can't get them, things like that. So just be mindful of that. If you can get everything to me by the 1st of November, we have no problem getting you started by January. And then for a fall start, classes will start August 18th this coming year. And we would really want everything in by early May. So I know that our academic advisor, she typically starts working with new students for this January start. She'll probably start working with new students as early as November. And so the sooner you get everything into me, the sooner you get to meet with her and register for classes and things like that. So just don't procrastinate. Then there's some scholarship opportunities that are available. NMC Legacy Grant, that's a $2,000 one-time award that is for a sibling of a current student or of an alum. So you could get that if you let me know. And then if you are an active member of United Methodist Church, that is also good for a $1,000 award. For that, I just need, you would just have your church submit a letter saying that you are an active member of a parish there. PTK, Phi Theta Kappa, that is an honorary club that people are in at the community college level. And so hopefully you have that. If you're not in it, I would definitely consider it. Sometimes there's a fee to join. It could be like $50. I think that's what it has been. I don't know if that's gone up, but it's definitely worth paying that in order to get the $1,000 scholarship. Several colleges put that on right on your transcript, so I can usually see if you are a member of PTK. But if not, just be sure to let me know and we can add that to you. You don't really need to do anything else to get that. And then HOSA, if you happen to have been a member of HOSA during your high school days, we can also give you a $1,000 award for that. A little bit about the cost and fees. So tuition for this year is $320 per credit hour. And I'm sure that you'll see if you shop around that that's one of the lowest price points you're going to find. So we're really proud to keep that an affordable program for all of you. There are a few fees. Some schools charge fees per semester hour. This is a little more upfront, I feel like, and kind of a little easier to budget for. So most things are one-time fees. So you'll have your compliance check, a background check, and then there's a shadow health fee for students that use that. Those are just one-time fees. And then the technology fee does happen each semester. So fall and spring, it's $500. And then in the summer, it's $250. And that should pretty much round out your fees associated with the program. If you are interested in receiving financial aid, we've listed our school code here. So when you fill out your FAFSA, you have the code. Just encourage you to apply for that as soon as it opens up. If you're not aware, the last year has been a little crazy with the FAFSA as the government changed kind of the program and how that worked. So really be mindful of when that opens up. We were told it would be early October, but I'm not sure exactly. So I would definitely keep an eye on that and apply as soon as you can for financial aid if that's something you plan to do. We also offer, as I mentioned earlier in the program, that we have that connection with the health system. Our health system employees do actually get a discount, not for RN to BSN, but for many of our other programs. So I just like to note that, because if you were to get a job with your RN at the health system, just know that if you plan to go on to do a master's or a doctoral program, there is a 20% discount that's available for those higher programs. But we do also offer, which is a great benefit, they offer the Academy program, which actually covers all of your tuition in return for staying with the health system for 5 years, but it's a great way to get that tuition completely covered. There's other benefits as well. TAP is Tuition Assistance Program benefit, and that is a tuition reimbursement of up to $3,500 a year for taking classes with us if you are a health system employee. So there's lots of little things that you can find through the health system, but also I definitely encourage you to contact your employer wherever it is that you work, because many of them do offer some sort of assistance to help you go back and pay for school.
So there's a lot of student support services. Even though you're online, there's a lot of things that are available for you. One is you have your own individual academic advisor. Jane McClure is wonderful, and she knows the RN to BSN population like the back of her hand. She knows what courses work well together, and she can really help you plan out your plan of study. The other academic support services available is there's people that can help you with time management, because that usually can be a problem when you're trying to go back to school. Everything's online, you're working. If you have a family, everything else going on, sometimes you have to learn or relearn how to manage your time. Testing strategy, I can tell you in the nursing courses, there aren't any tests, but there might be some in the arts and science courses. And so there is some people that can help with testing if that has been a problem for you. There's tutoring available. We have an online tutoring program that's pretty easy to access. The writing resources is probably the one resource that RN to BSN students use the most. Because as a professional BSN prepared nurse, you need to be able to write professionally. And so sometimes that takes a little bit of time if you have struggled with writing in the past. And so there's great support for that writing component of your coursework. And then there can be some supplemental instruction if you need that. There's counseling services available. If you're in the Omaha area, you can come on campus and meet with our counselors. But we also have You Will that is online that you can access any time of the day. There's a lot of availability of whatever your needs may be. The library is going to become your best friend, because you will be doing some searches for resources to support your writing. And so the librarians are wonderful for helping students with search strategies and just anything else that you might need, APA help, things like that. And then campus health services, sometimes people forget about them, other than when you have to have all your health requirements submitted, but there's a lot of services available there. as far as really cheap healthcare services. But the health requirements, even though it's an online program, you still have to have all of those where you have to have your vaccinations updated, they ask you to put your RN license on there, TB screening, background check, and things like that. All those have to be updated.
So we'll go over a few commonly asked questions. These are things that I kind of chat with a lot of students about. And then this would be a great time too, if you have specific questions, go ahead and type those into the chat box and then we will kind of answer those at the end. So I'll kind of shoot them off to you and you can answer them for me. Will I be able to work full-time and manage this program?
We have a lot of students that work full-time and do the program part-time or full-time. It's just a matter of learning. If you have good time management skills, then it works out very well. I think the online asynchronous component is a benefit so that you can get your homework done at the time that works well for you. So if you have a family and kids at home, you put the kids to bed and get your homework done and stuff, but there's still due dates, but you can kind of plan your week ahead of time.
And I really think that those week off breaks in between, after every 5 weeks, you get that week off. I personally get a lot of really good comments about that. I think it just really makes it easy to manage your time as far as planning a vacation, or if you have a child's birthday party to plan, or you need to pick up an extra shift at work, you kind of know when those breaks will happen. And I think that really helps people manage their time through the program. So I get a lot of really good feedback about that.
Yeah.
Do I have, oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say students, we get a lot of feedback about students really like that 5-week format. Yeah. To them, they could do anything for 5 weeks, because 5 weeks goes by pretty fast.
Do I have to complete a clinical?
So the clinical is more of a practicum where you're working with your faculty member, but you're doing it on your own with a community site. So, but it is called a clinical technically. So, and that's just in one of the courses.
Will this program set me up for graduate school?
Yes, it will. I'm also the program director for the MSN program. So I know both programs very well. And in fact, in the RN to MSN program, there's 6 courses out of the RN to BSN program that they take to get them ready for the MSN program. So we've looked at all the requirements for other graduate programs. And so this will set you up very well.
What if I need to take time off or slow down my plan of study?
Well, almost every debt buddy needs some time off. Sometimes it seems like, if you need to slow down, you can take a leave of absence for up to a year. And Jane McClure is the one that can really help you work that through. So,
and Jane's great to work with as far as if you need to adjust your schedule, or if you start one way and you think, oh gosh, that was too much and you need to back off the next semester, she's happy to help you come up with a new plan that fits your needs. So it's very doable. How accessible are the faculty members?
They are very accessible. They're very engaged with the student learning. Even though it's online and it's like you're not talking to them all the time, they're available. They always have their cell phone numbers posted so that you can contact them. They post weekly announcements, just kind of reviewing the different content. So yeah, they're really get engaged with all of the students.
I'm nervous about completing a program online.
Well, the program online learning is different in which it's mostly managing your time. I can tell you the assignments are due for discussions. The initial post is due on Thursday. All other assignments are due on Saturday. And so every week that's when they're going to be, at least for the nursing courses, the arts and science courses might have different timelines. But if you're having problems finding things, that's the time to reach out to your faculty member, if you need it. We try to put as many resources into the courses every course is laid up exactly the same, so you'll know exactly where to look. And we go over that in the orientation so that you know how to access your program online and what you need to look for.
I'm worried. It's been a long time since I've been in school.
Well, it's just like riding a bike. After you start in on that first or second week, then you kind of get kind of used to how the learning, and sometimes it really can build you up, and it builds up an excitement on learning new things and looking at different ways of looking at things.
And I would say I get that comment a lot, but just know that we have a really good mix of students who maybe are fresh from their associate's degree program and they continue right into their RN to BSN. And then we also have a number of students who have come back maybe after several years, or they're getting close to the time where their employer said you've got 5 years to do this, and maybe they've been gone for 4 years. So it's kind of a good mixture between new students fresh out of their associate's degree, and then also students who have been working nurses for maybe several years. So you won't be alone if that is you. So I hope that helps you feel better about it. Why should I get my BSN if I already have an RN license?
Well, there's been a lot of research about the difference between a BSN prepared nurse and like an associate's or diploma prepared nurse. And most of it has related to patient outcomes. But I can tell you that there's a lot of jobs if there's other things that you want to do with your nursing career that do require a BSN. It's going from that technical nurse as an ADN prepared to a professional nurse. And it can help you in your nursing career advance, and it helps our patients, which is why we're all in the nursing field.
And I think I pretty much answered. The next one is, what if I have not completed my NCLEX? So I jumped ahead. But yeah, so don't let that discourage you from applying, and you certainly don't have to wait until you take your test. We can get everything in place before that, and then we'll just have to gather your test results once your RN license once you've passed the test. So don't let that discourage you if you haven't done that yet. Do you also have an RN to MSN program?
And I talked a little bit about that earlier, and we do have an RN to MSN program. Like I said, there's 6 of the RN to BSN courses that they take to transition them and get them ready for the MSN courses. So that usually takes about a year for them to complete that. And then start in on MSN courses. You don't get a bachelor's degree in between. You just go from your associate's or diploma to MSN.
And for that program, we have 4 different tracks. We have the nurse educator track, care coordinator, informatics, and nurse executive. So if you have questions about that, and sometimes I have people who kind of bounce back and forth. They think they want their RN to BSN, but then they kind of think about going straight to RN to MSN. So we can definitely chat about what is the better option for you and what's the best fit. If you've applied for one and want the other, that's an easy switch too. So I can definitely work with you to make those changes if things like that come up.
Yeah, the MSN program is 2 years, and usually what we call the bridge courses that you take to prepare you for them is about a year. So going full time, it takes you about 3 years to get your MSN.
Is there any questions? I haven't seen any pop up in the chat box, but if you will wait just a minute to see if anyone puts any questions in. Another thing I like to add too is if you are curious about whether you have those program requirements done, I'm happy to look at transcripts even before you apply. If you want to send me just a screenshot or an unofficial copy of your transcripts, I'm happy to look at them to make sure you have what you need as far as the language, ethics, and stats. Those would be the 3 that if you can get them done before you come, that's great. It'll shorten your time a little bit, but it's certainly not necessary, as we said before. But if you want me to look over what you have and make sure that they are a good fit, I'm definitely happy to do that. Sometimes people reach out to me maybe a year in advance. And so I'm happy to look at that and say, hey, if you have time in your schedule, throw in this stats class and then you'll be ready to go. So I'm happy to kind of help you figure out what things would be good to add to your schedule if you're able to do that. Let's see, someone asked if this is recorded. This is recorded. It usually takes us about a week to have the recording back. And so I will send it out to everyone next week, and I will make sure that you get a copy of it. Are there any other questions? Oh, yep. Oh. All right. Well, sometimes you think of questions later. That's perfectly fine. I will be here to work with you from the time you apply all the way to the first day of classes. So once a student is accepted, I continue to check in and share information and timelines about registration and reminders about orientation and things like that. So if there's anything you need along the way, I am the right person to start with. And I also do work with the RN to MSN program. So if that's something you're thinking about, I can help you with both of those as well. On this screen, you'll see my contact information. So if we have not already connected, that's how you'll get a hold of me directly. And otherwise, we look forward to your application, and we're here to help if you need anything along the way. Thanks for joining us today.